right now? You keep making faces like I'm on. Am I on? I knew I was on the whole time. Hello, my friends on the internet, perhaps my friends in real life who would watch this. Thank you. Welcome to Thursday night here on the Superior Adventurer Guild Twitch channel. This is Midwinter's Keening. I am North Shore DM here with a tale of cold and woe, heroics, death, growing, maybe even finding that little something inside that indicates that you're right. It was the friends we made along the way. Anyway, yep, I know, Michael. It's weird the things that I say. It's been a long day. I don't know how your days have been out there, but I'm ready to get into some D&D. But in order to do that, we have to meet my friends who play D&D with me for some freaking reason. So here they are. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. All right.
We're here.
I go first, right?
You do, sir.
What's up, everybody? My name is Andy. I'm playing Stieg Egilson. Now a third level Runewalker Wizard. And
soon to be a third level Runewalker Wizard.
Yep, soon to be, I guess. Looking forward to get back into it.
Hey, I'm Ashley, and I play Astrid Boulder-Sother. I am still level 2 Gothy, so that's like a cleric of Balder. And we're going to get to the bottom of all these dead people eventually.
Bottom of the pile.
You always find your way to the bottom of the pile eventually.
I don't know if we want to be on the bottom, but yes.
Sometimes it takes a shovel, though, depending on how many corpses are around.
Sometimes it means that we paid, right? And that's why we're at the bottom. And sometimes it means we figured it out, I guess.
Hi, I'm Dave. I am playing Vidar Gormson. Awkward. I'm playing Vidar Gormson. He's a ranger, and a lot of things have happened over the last couple episodes. I'm excited to see how things transition here as we're doing some interesting things with leveling up and that sort of thing. So I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah.
Ruby. Hi, I'm Michael. I am playing Gunder, the Tremere Primogen of Minneapolis.
Whoa.
Shit, wrong game.
At ease. I would never play vampire.
Never?
As the player who runs it. I don't want to run that game. And I will only play Gangrel because secretly I just want to play werewolf.
I mean... Gosh, there's more conversation to be had than we're not having it right now. So we're talking about Gunder, who's an ally of Thor. It is certainly not a vampire. He's not a necromancer. Anything else? No.
Not yet.
He is excited. Everyone's not dead. That's a big accomplishment as far as he's concerned with us, and is looking forward to continuing that streak for at least a little bit. And then maybe getting back to town. Because, the armor itches. Not really to change. Sure, that stuff's really lightweight comparatively. Anyway, on to the most important member of the party.
I'm... Hiya, the Unforgettable. You guys have given me that name, and it is going to stick for a while. She is the 43-year-old midwife, mom of the group. She... is starting to figure out she might actually be a bard with some magic of her own, because she is now level 3.
Level 3.
So.
Level 3.
Wait. Is that everyone? Sorry. I've been sending out
the new guy?
I've been sending out the tweets. Hello, it's me. I'm the new guy. I'm playing Sven and his brother Oli at the same time.
We make pizza.
That's an inside Minnesota joke for those of you not from Minnesota.
North Shore, baby.
Yeah. Most let down pizza on the planet. Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I'm sorry I said that. I'm not going to take it back either. Also, full disclosure for anyone watching, it might be that the internet decides to die on us. It's possible. So if that happens, we'll try to get back up. If we can't get back up, I love you anyway, and we'll be back in a
Send a search
later.
party if we're not back.
We'll be back later. Yeah. If we're not back up in 5 minutes, please send fiber optics. Yeah. So, hey, I was just checking Twitter. It turns out there's a cool new giveaway this week. Again, theoretically, should everything continue working as it should, and we're able to keep streaming. Dave, my friend, my compatriot, please tell our wonderful viewers what they could win.
I feel like Vanna White or somebody all of a sudden. Hey, here's the deal, guys. We have a sponsor for the stream. Dream Realm Storytellers has graciously decided to be our sponsor, our supporter, and we really appreciate that. It's a great partnership. And as part of that tonight, they have donated a digital download of the original soundtrack for Svilland. This was composed by a musician named Ivan Duch. Don't know how you say it. Great last name because it's ambiguous. Those are the best kind. Anyways, he's a great composer. Check him out at Ivan_Duch on Twitter. Guys, we're going to give this album away at the end of the stream. All you have to do is type in the letters DRS into the chat to be entered to win. And at the end of the stream, we will draw one lucky winner for a free download of the original Svilland soundtrack. And it's pretty awesome. You're going to hear a little bit of it today because we play it throughout the game. The song that we use for our intro tune is called Into the Wilds. I love it. It's so good.
It's good.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
So, yeah.
I'm very excited. That sounds awesome. Also, some news. Next week we'll be on hiatus. Next week being the Thursday before Memorial Day here in the United States of Americas, the 27th. We'll be back the 3rd of next month. That's June.
Wow, that's crazy.
Ready to rock, ready to do it.
Yeah, both games will be
not worried
both
at
games
all.
will be on hiatus next week. Saltmarsh on Wednesday and this one on Thursday. So
I will be drinking alone, sadly.
I always drink alone.
yeah, I mean,
That's not true.
Well, no, but I'm gonna do it sadly now.
Oh, sadly, I'm gonna drink
Oh.
alone happily. No.
that makes sense.
Yeah. Hey, let's get it. Does anyone have any more announcements? Is there anything else? No. Cool. Awesome.
Oh, I got one.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I
Dave has
stopped
one.
by. I stopped by Warrior Brewing Company today here in Duluth, Minnesota. Duluth's newest brewery. Ben, who is the brewer there and owner of this new brewery, is also a gamer with us in a home game of Curse of Strahd, which we do upload to the YouTubes. And he's playing Bjorn Ironhide. But anyhow, got to taste a couple of their beers.
Ooh.
And there's a double IPA that is going to be amazing. It's going to get some dry hopping next week. He's got a bunch of barrels that he's aging stouts in, and I got to sample the stout that he's got, and it is really, really good. So I'm super excited. Yeah.
All the words that just came out of your mouth.
Yeah. I believe June 12th in Duluth, you'll be able to buy their beer at the liquor store.
Nice.
So there you go. That's the announcement. Way to go, Ben. Warrior Brewing Company.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, another cool. I want to plug one more thing actually before we get started about DRS. If you follow DRS at all, Dream Realm Storytellers, you'll know that their second Kickstarter, their first Kickstarter was Svilland. Their second Kickstarter was called Corpus Malicious. It was a 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons book all about playing evil stuff. New classes, new races, a whole like city of evil. It's not really my thing, but it's really cool. But they are also about to launch a new Kickstarter called Corpus Angelus, which is all about angels and the opposite of maliciousness. It'll be sweet. They have a tweet about it on their Twitter. You can get you go there and then there's the Kickstarter and it's like, oh, hey, we'll tell you when it's up. And so it'll be cool. If you're interested in that, maybe check that out too. Anyway, that's enough of my inane rambling about our friends and whatever else that comes out of my mouth. Let's talk about this Dungeons and Dragons game. Wow. Let's in the form of a recap. So, of course, as you remember or don't remember, but as you may have heard, our fearless party is on a mission to figure out what's going on with these kidnappings that have been happening by or had happened, attempted kidnapping by some bandits, and they made their way to a broken down tower in the middle of a bog where there was also Draugr that come out of the bog. They didn't know that ahead of time. As of course happens, there was an altercation between the party, the bandits, but also the Draugr. It was like a menage a trois of death. Yeah, that tracks. Don't give me that look.
That's hot. That's really hot.
And of course, as you can imagine, some of the party got injured, some of them less so. All of them survived. The final two, Draugr and Bandit, of course, classic slugfest until they both died. Well, one died, and then Vidar shot the other one. There was some other stuff. They found a weird magic circle. They found a goat head. They found some new kidnappees. They also burned a bunch of the corpses and gathered supplies that they could from the bandits, because of course the bandits were kind of camping here. And then in the night, as they were, in the evening, as they were trying to figure out maybe what was going on, a mysterious stranger and his rider appeared. Yeah, the horse was the stranger. The rider, he was also strange. A person who turned out to be called Batigan, and his horse, the Rain. And they some very nice rolls by our some members of our party determined that there are all kinds of legends and lore and tales about this character that go back a long time, longer than many people live. But also, you get into hero tales and you never know what's what, right? But he kind of showed up looking very worse for wear. And there was a cool song he was playing, and Paya, of course, was like, "Oh, hey, I can play music too." And then their powers combined, and she was overpowered by his music, and they played his song together. But then she learned a lot about herself in the song, and gained more stuff, and leveled up because of it. And he told a story, which started out one way, but then I realized I was just telling the Princess Bride, and then I tried to do it with a straight face, but I couldn't anymore. And then I broke down, and I apologize. It would have been cool if I would have done the whole thing, but I couldn't do it. I'll try better next time. And then, people took a rest, and Madigan disappeared. And presumably went on his merry way. Yeah. So here we are. It's morning time. You're in a tower that is very much busted up, in the middle of a bog. In the north, it's cold, but it is morning. You're alive. What would you like to do, my friends? What would you like to do?
Oh, just make a nice cup of coffee and really just kind of sit back and take the morning in.
Yep.
That's what I'd like to do. What the characters want to do, that's different.
I would like to actually pull Stieg aside for a moment,
Yes.
and I will say, Stieg, I wanted to say or maybe apologize for how Paya spoke to you last night. I mean, she's not mad at you. She's mad at what happened to her, and she doesn't really have a way to make it right. So
I understand. I didn't think she was mad at me. I thought it was the subject,
okay.
perhaps. But I'm all right.
All right. And also, I found these really cool round ball things. If you would take a look at one of those. I don't know what it is, but I mean, it looks pretty awesome.
Makes 3 of us.
How many were there?
I think there were 2.
There were 2. Yeah.
Do they have any kind of like identifying markings on the outside that I can see?
Was an inscription that says "for cover."
Oh yeah. Oh, there it is. Yep.
For cover. Wait, should I remember this? I don't remember this.
I found them by myself.
Oh, okay. Well, I can spend some time with them and see if I can figure something out. It might take me about 10 minutes or so.
All right. Let me know what you think.
All right. I'm going to sit down with them and start casting detect magic as a ritual to see if I can figure out if they're magical.
They are not.
Oh, they are not. Okay.
Nope. Yeah, they're clay, kind of largish clay balls. Not like they're not like super rough, but they're also not like super, like they're not super smooth. They're still like some, the hand marks of whoever made them, and a kind of an okay bit of carving, like of runes or whatever, of lettering that says, as she pointed out, "for cover."
Is there a fuse or anything?
Give me a perception roll, Stieg, as you kind of are checking these things out a little more in depth, perhaps.
Oh no, he's got the lycanthropy now.
Oh, yeah, it was smudged a little bit. It actually meant fur cover. Yeah.
17.
Not for cover, fur cover. 17. Yeah, you're kind of checking this out and going over the surface, and it has a strange kind of almost sulfuric smell to it, faintly, not super strong. And you kind of it's you can tell there's like a void inside, and there's something in there.
Where did you find these again?
Here in the tower?
In like their equipment, or just in the tower, like older?
No, I think it was in their equipment. You know, one of those piles of things that we went through.
It has a unique smell, like something that could burn,
May I see that?
perhaps. Yeah, certainly.
Just kind of look it over for cover. Given Gundar's time in the Broken Throne, would he have seen anything even remotely like this in a more urban environment?
Oh, that's a good question.
It's a stink bomb.
Broken Throne.
I was thinking smoke bomb, but you know.
Yeah. Stink or smoke bomb.
I don't know. Give me I don't know, a roll. Roll a d20. Yep.
Okay, then that's fine. He just kind of goes,
Yeah, you because you were on the wrong side of the law over there, right?
What'd
Yeah.
you roll?
A 20.
20.
Mm.
Yeah. You maybe you knew somebody or you've used these or things like this perhaps. You would have to guess that it could be that it is either a kind of stink bomb or a kind of smoke bomb.
he just kind of holds it up and goes, I haven't seen one of these in a long time. You throw it to break the clay covering and it releases a cloud.
Well, who's got the best arm on us?
Could come in handy.
Gundar just points up at where he assumes Vidar is already up or keeping watch. But Vidar might not be there, but he's pointing up anyway.
Yeah, he would be on watch right now, anxious to get moving. He's
Yeah, I
probably
was going
been
to
up for some time with his bags packed and ready to go.
I was going to say, I think we should probably head back to the village soon. We don't know if more men are going to come here.
Yes, we should not linger here. The two young people we found, do they have the right gear to travel in?
Yeah. They don't have like necessarily like cloaks or that or like outerwear. But they are at least mostly dressed for winter.
You mentioned there was a lot of random stuff here.
There is, in fact.
Would it be fair to say we could either cowl them in furs to keep them warm until we get back to the village, or swathe them in torn up canvas from a tent or something?
Yeah, there's you're able to find enough not great stuff, but it'll get the job done. Leftover cloaks or clothing.
Wool blankets.
Okay.
Blankets. No, there's. Hang on one sec. Sorry. Sorry, I was being grilled about coffee. It's very important. It is very important.
Coffee is important.
Yeah, it's the most important thing in the world. Yeah, you're able to find enough stuff from the bandits' camp to keep them warm, keep be travelable. They're
Well, Gundar will then set about getting them swaddled up and try to get everybody out the door.
oh,
Let's get going. This is not the nicest place to stay.
thank you, sir. Thank you.
I would like to pick up, like, if there's any like soft pieces of wood that I could maybe whittle later. Just grab a couple if they're easily about, not if I need to search for 20 minutes to find something nice.
No, yeah, there is wood about.
Do we intend to return to Molgor by way of the homestead?
I believe that is the most direct route. It is also, I believe, the only route we know.
I know many
is
routes through this area.
That is true.
Was that a 2-day journey? Like, did we have to stay at the homestead on the way here?
If we wanted to travel by night, we could have, but we did not
Oh.
want to do that. So it is in all likelihood we would stay again, unless we want to push on through the night, which we could do, but it will be cold and dangerous.
No, it is good. We will spend the night there. We will take care of the animals again. It is a good farmstead.
It is.
Very well.
It is good.
Vidar sets off and leads the way.
Are you prepared?
Yep.
Okay. You're very quiet this morning.
It was an interesting experience last night.
It is not often one entertains gods. This has ended better than many of the stories I have heard where this happens, so I am content.
If there's anything like valuable that I can carry, I hope that we are taking it, because
Yeah.
for sailor trade, I would hate to leave something nice behind, but there seems to have been a lot of things here.
Yeah, Chad, would you say there's like an estimate as to like what we have recovered from these guys? Like as far as maybe like weapons or something that we could try to sell?
Yeah, so let's see. There is a sword. There are probably 15 or so a combination of axe or sacks, saxes and axes.
Is there a yakety sax?
The yakety sax.
Hey, don't talk back.
Maybe 2 bows, daggers, some hide armor. Nothing super great armor wise. Perhaps. Did I give you? Probably found some coinage.
Yeah. I thought somebody found some coin, right?
Yeah, we looted all this stuff like 2
Yeah.
episodes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then random assortments of other gears, like kind of shoddy tents, blankets, cloaks, some food provisions, a few ropes, and different winter survival sort of things. Some of it decent, some of it obviously makeshift, some of it very second, perhaps fourth hand,
Stolen.
stolen. Yeah.
If the hide armor, like, even if it's too big, kind of like fits over one of the small kids, like, I think we should maybe have one of them wear it, as long as it doesn't make them encumbered or something. But
Be my guest.
Yeah, they would be able to wear it. There's probably some negatives I should remember about wearing armor that you aren't proficient in, but it's it doesn't matter that much. But
Just
they
in
can
case
wear
we
it
get
for sure.
attacked and,
Yeah.
something's better than nothing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fantastic. So you set off. Please, Vidar, give me a survival roll.
Gladly.
Is that really something he's good at?
Yep.
Oh,
With that natural 20, he is
natural
back.
20.
Yeah.
He knows a couple
would say.
shortcuts.
Yeah. Yeah, you make really good travel and are able to get to the homestead maybe a little after noon. There's still a few hours of daylight left. You could push it and maybe have to only be like maybe an hour or two, depending on how a similar roll happened for the second part of the day.
Does if Vidar looks around, do folks look tired, worn out, especially the younger folk that we rescued? Like, would it be smart to even suggest pressing forward?
Sure. They you guys are all pretty solid, I think. You all would be. Did I write those things down? Nope, I didn't. That's okay. Yeah, it wasn't a necessarily hard set of journey. Those the young folk, they're maybe a little worn out, not necessarily used to these sorts of movements, but
having seen Astrid procure some garments for them and some armor, I'll approach her and just say, Astrid, do you think it would be prudent to press on? We're making very good time. Do they seem tired or fatigued, or do you think they could make it another couple of hours?
As long as the weather holds, I think we should be all right. But how many hours until darkness?
Maybe 3.5, 4.
And how long would it take us to get home? 5 hours. Oh no, we need to stay here.
5-ish, yeah.
I don't want to be attacked in the night, which, with our luck, we certainly will be.
Why would you say
She's
that?
not wrong.
And we do need to feed these animals once again before we leave, because we don't know when the family will return.
Of course. Well, we have plenty of time to rest and take care of the animals.
Oh god, I see a farmhouse.
Whoops. Oh, the tower came with you.
Oh no.
Oh shit, the tower's following us, y'all.
It's that new character.
It's a
the
living tower.
It's a mimic.
It's a big old mimic that just wanted to be friends.
That would be a huge mimic. It's terrifying.
Yeah. I thought I grabbed those.
You're gonna have to feed him mammoths.
Yeah,
you did. They're on there.
did. They're
Are
on there.
they?
Yeah.
Yep.
The kids.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
Oh hey, solid setting question that
Oh,
I
there they
realized I don't know the answer to. Are there mammoths?
That's a good question. I don't think so. Yeah. I would love to play an Ice Age game, and maybe we'll play an Ice Age game a different day, but today is not that day. I call Ray Romano. No?
Okay.
No.
All right, I would like to go feed whatever animals are still here.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, all the animals here are doing their animal things. Let me roll for the goat. The goat did not escape this time. The the goat is still in its place.
Paya probably gave it a stern talking to last time.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah.
The farmstead, much as you left it before, a quick look around yields no new tracks, other than animals. Maybe a stag came through, perhaps a pack of wolves. But I mean, not like in the house, but like no new human tracks, or humanoid, no new humanoid tracks.
All right. Well, then, we'll just. I mean, the door still locks, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Do the
Valid
children? Do the children know this farmhouse?
This is. I've never been here. Me either.
Okay.
We
Just
have.
wondering if they know
Gunder is-
who we have, but I'm wondering if they know who it is, or if this is on their way home, or if it makes if we have 3 hours, if they're within an hour or two, maybe we just take them home instead of back into town. We don't need to kidnap these children. We could return them.
Did Paya say that out loud?
Didn't they come willingly?
They did, but maybe they want to go home.
And
I mean,
Gunder,
they want to get out of the bog.
Gunder's going to lower his voice and goes, "We do not know if their family is even still alive. That is my concern with the plan. I like it otherwise, though."
Yeah, it might be good to get them to a safe place that we know is fortified.
We could ask them where they live and what has come of their parents.
One knew that his brother was probably killed, and the other one has no idea where their family were. What happened, if anything.
I think it would be safer for everyone to go to town who's in these outlying houses. And, well, I would love to reunite them with their parents as soon as possible. It would be a lot safer if we took them to town and then reunited with their parents there.
And their parents
weren't there-
might be
Should we
looking
check in?
for them in town as well.
Weren't
So-
there
Should we
rangers
check
going
in on the
around?
Grange? Should we check in on the Granger family?
You know how far away the Granger family is.
I thought they were the neighbors.
Yeah.
Yeah, but are we talking like in-town neighbor distance or like far northern Minnesota neighbor distance? Is the like out of character?
Probably
I don't
the
have.
latter. It would be probably the latter of those two options. But there's a chance that Vidar would know where that homestead is potentially. I don't know.
Yeah,
Chad, if
Grain
that's-
Bjornsson and his family. They are maybe an hour, maybe two, kind of north west of here. Kind of out near closer to kind of to the closer to the edge. Yeah, closer to the edge of the kind of the forest part.
Could you ping where we are, buddy?
You are somewhere in this region, perhaps.
the dense wood.
what's- or maybe up off the map, up off here. I
Okay.
suppose my hexes are like 7 miles, so you're probably up a little further, up a little further than the map goes.
Okay, and where's the nearest treasure trove of the dead kings?
Mm.
It's up in the mountains. Wait, damn
Aha!
it. I shouldn't have told you that.
DM, Vidar will send up Iceland to
Okay.
keep an eye on things from the sky.
Okay.
So if we've only got 3 or 4 hours of daylight, it's going to be a stretch to get to the other farmstead and potentially back, but it is doable. Out of character, do we want to roll those dice?
Like tonight yet?
Yes.
Well, also, weren't the rangers supposed to go around to all the exterior farms and warn people?
That is what they're doing. Yes, Gorm.
Listen to those guys. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
The living would.
I think Astrid is right. It would be prudent to bring the children to town. Their parents may be there already, waiting for them or seeking them out.
I don't think we should bring them around in the wilderness any more than we have to.
No.
They're not as prepared as we are.
We are a few hours from town. It would be safe if at some point we need to go to their homestead, we can do that.
I would like to give the two children at least a dagger each, just in case. I mean, you know, it wouldn't be, you know, if we got separated or if, you know, on the way home something attacked us, it would be good if they at least had a fighting chance.
Thank you. And both of them are like, it's like an approximation of a hard look, you know? They're like, yeah, they've been through a little bit of shit now, right? So they're, you know, and they're hardy folk here, as of course you all know, because you are hardy folk. And, you know, there's definitely some, yeah. I don't know.
Like
I don't know how to role play other people. Only me, crazy me.
Gunder is going to get the fire started and just generally set about tending the farm, which is a thing he finds relaxing and enjoyable. So he's just going to be bucolic as fuck for the evening.
Chopping wood, stacking wood. Yeah.
I'm gonna cast alarm on the front door again.
Okay.
It's a ritual, so it'll just take me a few minutes. It lasts 8 hours. So I guess once nighttime starts, I guess that's when I would start it.
Oh, okay. I was gonna roll a die and see if Gunder set it off when he comes in from chopping wood.
No, I can declare who would. I can like make.
Cheese and crackers, Steve. How did that happen?
Hijinks and pranks would ensue. Do they have whoopee cushions in this world?
I can designate creatures that don't set it off. So
it's goat bladders.
Yeah.
They make them out of goat bladders. Gross.
Well, as we're in this farmhouse, Paya finds some of the traditional women's work and starts combing wool or spinning or carding or whatever. She's just sitting in the corner.
Yeah, there's
taking care of the household business.
There's definitely that kind of stuff around. Faux show.
Is alarm a skill check?
No, it's a ritual spell.
Okay, so there's all right.
That lasts 8 hours, and yeah.
Okay. Then I won't give you guidance.
And there's no skill check involved.
Sure, I give him guidance. Enjoy.
This is truly blessed wood. 2 gods have had hands in blessing it.
Isn't there a full shed of wood right here in the back?
Look, Gunder's just keeping busy.
Nobody's ever opened that door.
20 Draugr inside.
Oh god, it's just full of dead bodies.
We open it up. We're like, oh. Gunder gets back with sweating with all this wood. We're like,
did I put a wood icon in there? I meant to put bodies in there.
Well, those are bright out enough. You can burn those too.
Yeah.
There's the ping.
Yeah.
Unless the child that was giving us wood while we were trying to fix the door the first time who went in there was hiding the dead bodies, I think we might be okay.
Oh no, the boards are upstairs. As you can see, I do have random boards.
Okay.
I specifically put there so that you could fix doors and windows. Also because it makes sense. It does make sense. There's a canoe up there.
Yep.
He goes and investigates that room.
Yeah, there's a bunch of wood and a chest. I think that's a chest. I don't remember. There's a thing there. There's a package of some kind.
You know what
right
to
over
do.
there.
I'll just grab some wood and bring it out
Oh.
to the fire.
Okay.
Whenever we have like downtime where like nothing is happening, like we're doing a watch or whatever, I would like to whittle.
Yeah.
You know,
Just a
Um,
bit.
just what?
Just a whittle bit.
Just a whittle bit.
um, should we is that a thing you would like to adjudicate?
Like how so?
Are you concerned with how well your whittling roll would be?
No, I mean I can whittle. I mean, you wanted me to roll a skill check every time. That's cool too. But
No.
um,
If you want to, the first time or this time, you can.
Sure.
It depends on what you want to. If this is just a whittle for enjoyment, I'm not worried about it. But if you would like to roll a
sure.
die,
Let's see how good I am with that knife. Not
You're
very good. So what is that roll of?
well, there are wood carvers tools. I think
Okay, but
there should be.
Yeah.
Are you proficient in such things? Let's call it maybe an intelligence-based roll, or maybe
well,
yeah,
that's good for me then. Then that would be a 10.
a 10. It's not bad.
It's-
Yeah. You carve whatever it is that you intend to carve. It looks like the thing that you want it to be.
Okay.
A duck. That being said, it's a duck. It doesn't have to be a duck.
It looks like a
Okay.
duck.
I was
though.
I was carving a horse. Yeah, but it's a duck.
Short
Um,
legs.
So where did this
Fair
how
enough.
did this
Fair
horse
enough.
only get 2 legs? Yeah, no,
Vaguely
it's
bird-shaped.
it's no, whatever it is, it is what it is what you want it to be, and it is a okay example of that thing.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the girl what was her name? Ida, maybe? Oh, why didn't I write that part
Mhm.
down? I
That sounds
really
right.
thought I did.
Yeah, I think that sounds right.
I remember
Yep, Ida unsolve.
I might have wrote it down somewhere else.
Ida and what?
And what was the
Solve.
Solve.
That's right. I'm gonna write that down right. Oh, there I did. Ida. Solve. 2 kidnapped youths.
Yep. 13 to 14-year-olds old.
Ida would perhaps assist you, Paya, in your wooling.
Yep.
When you activity to wool, I don't know what it's called.
We're just spinning for the
Card.
most part.
Yeah, card.
We're
Okay.
we're spinning. We're not dying. Whatever is fresh, whatever is here, we've carded. We're combing. We're carding. We're spinning.
She says, as you're doing these things, she says, she's like kind of watching you intently, and every now and then she kind of looks at whoever else is around, and she's not like that, but she says, it's Paya.
Yep.
Paya, you don't really seem like these folk. You're a little more you're like a normal person. That doesn't sound right. That doesn't, I don't know. I
I'm a
don't-
beast.
Wait a minute.
I don't know.
here. Wait a
They-
minute.
You're freaking so normal.
Everyone,
You like you guys all have like I picture you. Maybe I picture you. This lady, this young girl, pictures at least 4 of you, maybe 3 of you, as a little more hard-eyed individuals. I don't know about Steve yet. Um,
He's got crazy eyes.
like you're wearing armor, you got weapons.
I'm dragging around a goat head.
Yeah, he's got a goat head.
That's fair. That's fair.
Steve killed a guy with fire. Like,
Did they see that though? I don't think they did.
I guess probably not.
Well, they saw
Uh,
Vidar cut that guy down, probably.
Yep.
Yeah, right. And
Yeah.
then there's Paya. Of course, also badass. And I don't want you to assume that I'm saying that you're not badass, but you have a very different look than
I
these
do.
folks, and that's what Ida is getting at. Says, you don't seem like them. What? How? Where did you all come from?
That is a long story, my dear. I'm not quite sure where we all came from. But we all came together. And here we are. But don't think that you have to know everything that's going to happen to you by the time you're 14, 16, 20, 22. Life takes you on very different parts, different paths, different times. You're healthy enough and hardy enough to be alive now. You're healthy and hardy enough to live many lives in just this one. Come spin. Keep your hands busy.
Am
work
I
for
doing it?
yourself.
Is this
Yeah, I doing it right.
I show
Oh,
her how to keep busy.
okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And you
You know,
choose.
and
You
I
do the
tell
thing.
her, oh, one other thing I tell you, as we're definitely monsters out there, I think we've seen some. Just remember, all those monsters, there's beasts and there's man. Those are the monsters. Beasts you can tame. Men, they're the trouble. Oh,
Yeah,
and they're
those-
gods.
Those men
gods.
were not nice.
Just be wary of all of them. And as for gods,
Well, my dad always
Gods
used
are
to say,
men with bigger egos.
you don't want to draw the attention of the gods. It's better to oh man, hang on. Chad has to think of what the word he needs to use is.
Live a
It's-
simple life.
It's yeah. In the stories, those who talked about being cool like the being cool like the gods. God damn it, I'm so bad at this. Those who talked about, who they don't end well.
There is a bit of an ugly laugh from the other side of the building as Gunder hears parts of that and goes,
Sorry, my
Astrid.
brain turned off halfway through that, and I lost. I can't think of the word I needed to use.
Astrid just gives like people some side eye, like.
And in the process of doing this, I help this child. I get her into a rhythm. I get her into a tempo. I start keeping time. We start to get into a space where we're dropping our spindles and everything is just falling the way it's supposed to. And it's becoming kind of the rhythm is taking over.
Mm.
There's almost a hum between the two of us. And that's just the way
Nice.
it's going.
Yeah,
There's,
yeah.
And it becomes very silent. It's just that meditative tempo that we're keeping together.
Absolutely. I like it. Gunder, hey, man, you're chopping wood. Hey, there's a young boy here who I should probably roleplay a little bit. He's going to come and help you chop wood.
Gunder, thankfully, is actually good with kids. So he's like, Okay, no, you come over here. Yes. Hold it like this. Careful how you swing. Just let the axe do the work. Yes, like that. Very good.
Yeah, he like takes one swing, rolls a natural 20, and chops 3 pieces of wood.
I think I am just going to let you take it from here, boy, because you are clearly better at this than I am.
I think
Is
he's
that-
Slap
done
him
this
on the
before.
shoulder.
He looks down at the axe, looks at you. He says, "Am I doing it right? Is this chopping wood? Is this winning? Is
Yes,
this good?
you're winning, son.
You're a good teacher."
I'm just here to show you what you had the whole time. Come on, let's get this carried and carted off, and then we're going to go feed the animals.
The real treasure was the axe inside of you the whole time.
That's true, and that's the quote I want as the byline. The real treasure was the axe inside you the whole time.
Yes, I love it. Fantastic. Yeah, you guys chop some wood. It's dope.
Yeah, no, and Gundar is Gundar clearly, he works on a farm. He knows how to keep a farm, and that's just what he's doing. It's just for somebody else right now. So it's choring, goes in, moves the hay around,
Mhm.
make sure, get all the muck out, put in some fresh hay. Just all the manual labor.
I like it. Sieg or Vider, do you have a thing that you would find yourself doing at this time?
Go ahead, Stieg.
Is it getting dark out now?
Yep.
I guess. Well, when everybody goes to bed is when I'm going to cast the alarm spell. But
Oh, okay.
I'll just be helping out Gundar with farm work.
Okay.
I don't have anything I need to do.
Vidar will
at the moment.
be sort of at the perimeter outside most of
Okay.
the evening, with the owl up in the air, kind of keeping watch. Maybe standing in spots for long periods of time quietly to see if any game flushes out that he might be able to kill for dinner, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Some fresh
I
meat
like
might
it.
be nice.
Let us have you roll a survival check.
24.
I
Nice.
mean, that's really good.
You survive.
Yeah, you survive. A person could even say that you were thriving out here. You go back to the farmhouse, but you're like, I just built this cabin. I'm gonna live in that now. I live here. This is my life.
Kind of like it
You
out here.
yeah, it's great. Yeah, you walk the perimeter, and you take notice of some of the different animal tracks, the different animals that have kind of come through in this kind of cleared area where the farmstead and their fields and pasturing is. There's kind of the north end of the property. You can see that maybe within the last few days, like a wolf pack has come through. You see the tracks of like some stag or reindeer, whatever kind of deer-like animal is around.
Fresh tracks of the stag, like within the last 24 hours.
Yeah,
Mhm,
within the
mhm.
last 24 hours.
Yeah. Game is abundant in this area.
Yeah.
Hmm.
There's like some cats, like lynx tracks, perhaps hares. You see some very obvious where like a mouse has run, and then probably an owl has found it and eaten it
Mm-hmm.
with their creepily long legs.
All I heard
Pull up.
was kitties, and we're gonna have to get all of those.
Pull up the skirt of the owl and it's like all leg. You're like 90% leg. 5% eyeballs and 5% wings. I don't know where the rest of your body is. And yeah, you could have your choice, perhaps, of an animal you would like to acquire
Mm.
for consumption, or a set of animals. Perhaps you would only want to get perhaps some hares.
Yeah.
Perhaps you would
probably
like to
hares, just because
a-
not wanting to spend a lot of time, processing an animal or.
Yeah, I feel you
Mm-hmm.
on that. Hares are really easy to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you catch a nice brace.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps you have special arrows for said things, to knock out small
Some
game and
blunt
birds.
arrows. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I'll gut them and then just peel the skin right off of them.
Like taking off a sock.
Exactly. It's like they're designed.
Was that too much, Andy?
They're designed to be eaten.
They really are.
Yeah.
And they taste so
They're
good.
so good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So am I
Never
able
go
to?
camping with us, folks.
Does it seem like I'm able to find enough to feed the whole group?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
sweet. All right.
You
Awesome.
catch a quantity.
Okay. Perfect.
They are abundant.
Yeah. I don't need to take more than necessary, but enough to feed everyone
Yeah.
would be prudent.
Excellent. And then, Astrid, was there anything else you wanted to do in this space?
Well, before I go to bed, I would love to do another like prayer to Balder kind of thing, because that's my jam. I am a priest of Balder, or priestess of Balder. So if I've got a little space somewhere, like quieter in the house, I'll like set up my little wooden idol of Balder and like maybe take out a candle or incense if I got it. I probably don't have a candle.
Need a candle, sweetheart? I hand you one of the candles that I took
Aw.
from the little tiny
cute.
stubby thing. But
Yay! That's all I need. And then I'll take out the mask from my bag and I'll put it in front of me, and I will pray and meditate. Devotion to my God for letting us live and sparing us, and thinking that we've sent some horrible souls down to Helheim, and it's their charge now.
You got him,
Yes.
bro. Give him what for.
It is the ever, duality of existence. Like, these bandits need to be killed. Am I just making the armies of Helheim larger? Like, are we fueling the fire of our own proverbial end at their hands? Yeah, you pray, and do your thing. Roll me perhaps a D20.
Okay. All
You
right.
feel good. You feel good about what the ritual space that you did and used and created was good. It's a different setting, but you're able to kind of do the things that you do without a problem. You feel all right about it. Which I guess, depending on how you Balder, maybe you feel bad. I don't know.
There's
but
no
you feel all
wrong
right.
way to Balder.
Apparently not.
And then Stieg, you set an alarm spell at some point.
Yes.
Um,
Once I would think like after dinner. It lasts 8
Okay.
hours, so I don't want it to run out in the middle of the morning.
That's fair.
So
You all enjoy the abundant rabbit cooking of Vidar, or perhaps anyone else who would like to assist in the victuals, as they would say in some parts of the world.
I will burn the shit out of that.
We
Crispy
don't let
hair.
Astrid near the food anymore.
Crispy hair, my specialty.
We were supposed to skin these first.
She just throws it in the fire. I'm doing it
Burnt
right.
hair and
This is it. Burnt hair
cooking it
and
in
hair.
the skin.
Yeah.
And this is why she's not allowed near the the kitchen anymore.
Yeah, you have a rustic meal. And there's winter stores in the farmhouse if you feel like dipping. I'm not saying you have to. I'm not saying you would want to, but it is an option that are there if you want to, I don't know, find some things. But otherwise, you have some hair. It's cooked on a fire, and it's wonderful.
So good.
I can't wait for the break when I eat my pizza. And you set
Going
an
on to
alarm
break, folks.
spell.
Yeah.
You set an alarm spell. We're gonna do one more thing, and then we're gonna take a break. I got a thing. There's a thing that's gonna happen next. You set an alarm spell, and people, I have to imagine, are going to rack out.
I think we'll keep a watch though on base principle
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
We should set up a watch.
Perhaps you could place your tokens from the left-hand side of the screen as the first watch, towards the right as the last watch, in an order. That way, I don't have to write it down or remember it.
I don't know how words work. It's fine. Watching
you
you
can
two
go ahead of
fight
me.
is amazing.
Who wants
You
to
can
be
go.
the early bird?
I'll be the first one up, first one to bed, first one up. I'm like that little old lady that goes to bed super early before you guys all go to bed. Pops up before dawn. So
Dinner at like 4:30.
Yeah. It's like my mom
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, and looking at the time, it's like it's 8:00. Like, are we going to be done
wheel's
early
on.
tonight?
The wheel's
So
on. I gotta
I can
eat.
go to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, you take some watches, you rest. It is restful. The watch is uneventful. However, hang on, let me find this thing that I have prepared. Wait. Oh yeah. Oh, there we go. Oh. Astrid. You are, of course, sleeping after your watch, not during your watch. I wouldn't assume that you would fall asleep on your watch. You are dreaming, as a matter of fact. In your dream, you are in a village of moderate size, perhaps even a newer village. I say that because you don't really see it, but you feel like this village may have like a stone wall. Many of the towns, other than big cities, have like wood palisades instead of stone walls. You feel like this one has a stone wall. I don't know if that's necessary to the dream, but there you have it. There are a lot of people running about in your dream around the village. Voices are very raised and loud. shouting, screaming, perhaps. You feel the fire on the heat of a fire on your body, on your skin, as the building you are in is burning. You can see to your right, perhaps, your you feel like this is your mother. It's a dream, right? So it's not necessarily your mother, but in the dream, this is your mom. Her body is smashed under a burning pillar, and you another beam from the ceiling is about to fall. What would you do?
Is my mother trapped under there?
In a way, trapped. Also,
Can I pull her
not.
to safety at all?
Yeah, you grab and pull. You know, you're you know you're scared. You're warm. You're crying. Give me a strength roll.
Oh,
Oh.
wow, that's
goddamn.
surprising.
Hot damn.
What was it?
That is a straight 19.
Straight 19.
Whoa.
Yeah, you pull and pull and you pull a bit. You feel a surge, but you aren't able to pull her completely out, and she's kind of like half in and out of consciousness, it seems. And she says, "No, go, escape, live." You can see her legs are smashed. Like, it's like, oh, here's my leg. Oh, here's another part of my leg sticking out at weird parts. She says, "I love you. Go." What do you do?
And I don't want to leave you.
It's too late for me.
I call for help.
All right. A beam, another beam is going to crash down. Please roll a dexterity saving throw.
No. 16.
16. You dodge out of the way, like almost instinctually, as another kind of roof beam kind of falls down. The building away to your right is now really engulfed in flames. Just kind of this area around you and your mom. Although now there is another beam. There's a beam kind of between the two of you. It's just barely missed her. And there's the doorway to the outside, also not on fire. She says, "Run, escape. I'm done for. I'm sorry I couldn't save you. Go. I'll always be with you."
I'm gonna go out the door, but I'm gonna shout for if anybody will come and help me. I'll say my mother's inside.
You kind of push your way out the door, and you can see that there are a number of other burning buildings, and there are there's a lot of dead people here, and there are a number of people killing people who are not in fact yet dead. Buildings are on fire. It's chaos. There's smoke. It's hard to see, in that dream way, right? You got there's like fire and smoke, but then you can see like down the road, perfectly clear, strangely enough. As it happens, and you're crying out, and people are running by, and nobody is listening. And you see down at the end of like down like at the end of the block, right, a little ways away, you can see a shining figure, a man, of noble stature, perhaps a warrior, more beautiful than many would be. And he's kind of striding down towards you, towards your direction down the street, and he stops, and like helps somebody to their feet, and they look really much better than they did like a second ago, and that person gets up and runs away, and it's one of those parts of a dream sequence where it doesn't feel like it's that long of a distance, but he does this like 6 times, and gets people up off of the street and helps them out, and strangely doesn't get as close as you think he should after all this time. And you're calling out, and he sees you, and you have like eye contact, and he there's nobody really else that's down, and he's making his way there towards you, and he's maybe just at a little bit out, like if it was combat, you could move to him in a turn, and you're kind of you're calling to him, you're reaching to him, and his name. You feel stronger as every step he takes towards you. You feel stronger, more sure of yourself, and whole. Maybe we can get my mom out of here. And roughly, you are almost brushed aside, and another person is there, and they have a bow and a strange bow at that, and a strange arrow, and they shoot it, and you're like, no way, this guy just helped out these people.
In front of it. I throw myself in front of it.
Yeah, give me a athletics roll to jump in front of it.
That is a straight 10.
Straight 10. Yeah. You dive in front of it, kind of in front of this person, in front of this arrow, in front of this bow, and their arrow is loosed, and you're you're the comical. Yeah, exactly. And you feel this arrow bite into you, and you feel it expel out the other side, and like almost like a part of you is taken with it, and you know, like you're kind of, you know, laying now looking at this person with the bow above you, and without even looking, you have this sinking feeling, and you hear a, this guy, this shining one, fall to his knees. You hear it like it's a bell tolling on a church for a religion that doesn't exist in Svilland. um, like the bell tolling, you know, in the mists, in the fog of the shores, signaling rocks, perhaps. And the sky, the fires dim, the sky darkens, which is strange because you were pretty sure the sky was darkened before. And this countenance above you is now almost a death's head, you know, a skeletal figure, and you kind of roll the hole in your heart. You know, it's a dream. It's weird, but you're still there. You're
Holding in my insides.
mortally wounded, but still not dead.
Yeah.
And you kind of roll over, reaching out to this man, on his knees, an arrow piercing his breast. And he is no longer the shining individual you saw. You see now chains binding. You see a sorrow, a sadness, and he looks into you, and this a conduit almost, this feeling that you share, twofold. You know, his joy, the light that he brings, that he brought, and the sorrow now that he has, not being able to continue being shackled in death, being trapped in a new unlife of a life. And this duality is almost crushing. Please make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. That is 15.
15. Yes, you are not completely crushed into gothness.
You do not lose a level and gain eyeliner.
That's right.
I mean, eyeliner's cool.
You can just get that now.
And the oh no, I lost it. The dream, you kind of, you wake, kind of from this, the final piece of, you know, reaching out to, it's Balder. You're reaching out to him, and something reaches back. It's not like a hand, right? But it's a thing, a feeling. This duality of ecstasy. You know what? That tracks. That works. I like it. And you're kind of sweating, and you know, your heart's racing. However, you do feel a bit stronger, a bit more. I wouldn't say necessarily sure of yourself, but perhaps a bit more sure of your. Yeah, you feel good. I don't know. You feel
Capable.
great. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're like, yeah. And yes, you have leveled up.
Whoa.
Yay.
The cleric
thanks,
in the
Jen.
bar is 3, and that means we at least will die a little slower.
I also have an update that Phoenix just gifted us all 1 advantage. So thank you, Phoenix.
Wow. Thank you.
Thank you
Heck
very
of a
much.
guy.
Thank
A
you.
wonderful guy.
Thanks, John.
What a guy.
He is. And thank you for being here. I appreciate it. You are worthwhile. It's morning time. Let us take a brief break so that I can smash some pizza into my face and then feel okay to grab a glass of tequila to
Oh.
drown my sorrows in.
Really, it's
Not-
getting to
not
the
really.
tequila
Not
that's
that
important.
much.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that bad. It
Hey,
was a long day.
should we mention the giveaway real quick before we split?
Yes.
Let's do that.
Our friends, we have a giveaway. It is the Svilland soundtrack by
Ivan.
Duch, Ivan Duch, Ivan Duke,
Let's go Duke. Ivan Duke.
Ivan Duke. I
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. You might be hearing parts of it now. You've heard it if you've been watching our show. You've heard it before. It's great. If you enter the letters DRS into the chat, you will be entered into that drawing, which we will draw at the end of this episode.
Do it.
We'll be back
Do
in
it.
10 minutes at 8:40 local time.
We have no idea what time
That's
that is in
Central
Japan. So
That's
Phoenix, you're on
Central
your
Standard
own, buddy.
Time. In another 10 minutes. In another 10 minutes. So yeah, stay thirsty, my friends. We'll see you in a bit. Hello. Am I what? Oh, am I back? Damn it. Now you're doing it to me on purpose. Hello, welcome back. Welcome back to Midwinter's Keening. This half of the show is brought to you by Pizza Luce and Terramana Tequila, which
Whoa.
is what I have consumed
Do we have new
to
sponsors?
give me energy. No, it's just
Oh.
me personally.
Dude, we
I'm
need a
personally being
tequila.
sponsored.
We need
It
a
is.
tequila sponsor.
We do.
I'd like a
Dwayne-
mead sponsor.
Dwayne,
Mead
Mr.
sponsor.
Johnson, if you're watching, because I know you watch our show,
Of course.
I really enjoy your tequila. I don't want to talk about how many bottles I've bought since May.
We
of
support
last year.
you. Look,
last
Dwayne,
year. I
we're
support you
supporting
lots.
you. You should support us. Let's just
Just 1 second. 1 second. Mr. Andy,
Yeah.
Stieg, if you will.
Uh huh.
That's right at your table.
What's that?
Yeah, within reach.
The
Like he
worm.
doesn't even have to get up.
Oh no, it's a chili pepper.
Okay.
Oh
Still,
no,
just,
you're
I
in the
wanted to
margarita
check.
kid again.
Oh Jesus!
Get going before Stig
He's
real
cups in, multiple cups.
I didn't think you were gonna do that anymore. That's
I wasn't.
anyway.
Not on
And my wife
Saltmarsh. He
shot it
isn't.
again, and
Cheers,
not
my
on
friends.
Saltmarsh.
That's been banned from the Saltmarsh stream.
So to catch you up, right? To catch you up, we're back at the farmstead with two rescued youths. There was some wool activities, carding. I'm going to learn this. I should know it.
Shuttlecock.
Yep. Stieg and Gunder were playing badminton in the, in the yard. It's like my fucking neighbor kids, the college kids that live next door that love to play badminton. Super weird. I don't understand. I mean, I love
It's a
badminton. but I
great
don't get
sport. It's a great
It
sport.
is. There was a restful night of sleep. Everyone has gained a rest that you of course didn't really need in a mechanical sense, other than you don't want to get exhaustion. Yeah, thank you. There was a dream sequence, a powerful dream sequence, so powerful that it invoked leveling up. Oh, look at those!
Damn,
I
you look
have
tough.
no guns. I have no guns.
You look way tougher than before the break. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, it's like you got D8 hit points. What did
Do
you
want me
get
to
for hit
roll
points?
that? I
Yeah.
didn't roll. Oh, hold on.
Oh, I would love it. I love rolling hit points. Please re-roll that. I hate ones.
Yeah, that's what I like to see.
What'd you get?
What
What'd you
was the
get?
second one? Ooh, an
Was it-
8. Nice.
8.
Whoa!
1 to an 8.
A literal
Yeah.
duality of roll,
That's
much like the
huge.
duality of the existence of Baldur now. It's a little bit of good, a little bit of like, this sucks.
I think the hit point
Yeah.
rolls are the most important rolls of the whole game. Even more so than the death saves.
More so than the death saves. Interesting.
Mhm.
That sounds like a
I've-
Twitter thread I would be involved in.
It does.
I've been
You sh-
quite fortunate with the rolls.
totally
for
is,
sure.
Chad.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, it is morning time. You have awoken from a night's sleep. What would you like to do?
cook breakfast and then go.
Yeah.
Well, we button up the farmstead, make sure everything's put away, and then get the hell on the road. Yes.
Yep. Yeah, you make a nice light breakfast. Perhaps you find some rolled oats. A nice easy breakfast, yeah. And make a porridge.
Mm.
Some would call a meal of oats. You kind of button things up. You make sure the animals are cool. Let me roll for that goat. Oh yeah, that goat is sound asleep still in the hayloft. Sound asleep. You're not
No one even heard him.
That's right. No, he's not out of his pen. He rolled a 1. He didn't get very good. The other animals, A-okay. And yeah, you make your way back towards Molgor. Please, Vidar, a survival roll, if you please.
Indeed. That will be a 16.
I believe that you also have advantage, technically, right? As a ranger.
Oh, that'll be a 16.
16 then. A 16. Yeah, 16 is great.
Because that natural 1 is not better.
No.
At least that's my kind of basic understanding of how this works.
Yes. Yes. The public education has taught you well.
Thank
It
you.
has taught you well. Yeah, you your group moves well today. It is a it's not a bad day for travel. There hasn't been snow in a few days, so you're not like you're not plotting new tracks, as it were, right? You're able to kind of follow old trails. You make good time. You reach Molgor probably around noon or a little after noon. I think it was like a half day's journey or so between the two. The first time and the second time and the third time. So now the fourth time, it will be a similar journey.
As we're entering or getting close to town, I'll just kind of turn to the group and say, what do you all intend to do now?
I need to go see Seamond about this goat head.
I was going to speak to the Jarl, let him know what happened.
Maybe you should sober up first.
Yes. Have another ale and relax, my friend.
I love hiccups. They're the best.
I must go seek counsel with Gorm. Perhaps we meet again at the inn.
This seems to be the most reasonable place. Astrid, Paya.
I'm just heading home.
How did he get so drunk?
I would like to go with Stieg to talk with his master. We never got to speak with him. I mean, we got a really interesting reading, and then he fell asleep.
Yeah, he does do that occasionally.
The odor was a bit much for me.
It was a strong smell in that place. Yes. Okay. I was sorry. Stieg, Astrid going to Samon's house. Gunder going to the Jarl's. Paya going to the inn.
With the kids?
Going to the inn, taking the kids to the inn.
Oh yeah, the kids.
Double checking if there's any. Seeing if we have any news on their parents and making sure that there's no one else that needs my normal services. I mean, probably checking in with a couple of women that are expecting at this point in time.
There are. Let me roll. Hang on. We can adjudicate this. There are 3 women who are.
My God, you're gonna be busy.
Who are within 3. Who are close. They're close.
They're somewhere in their second to third trimester. We'll just go double check on all of them.
Yes.
Nice.
I suppose there are. Whoa, that's really broken up. How about? I suppose there are like 4 mesters.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying anymore.
Quadmester?
There.
The 4th trimester is after the baby is out of the womb.
Oh, okay.
It's the first 3 months of nursing.
I've been trained
Postpartum.
in helping people give birth, not the rest of it.
Yeah, you're on your own once that happens.
Personally, as a medic, I was trained in how to help people give birth. Should that happen on the battlefield, I guess? Army. It's weird.
Battle birth.
Yeah. Hearts and minds, baby. Hearts and minds.
And
Hearts, minds, and wombs.
Yep.
And
oh my God.
Vidar. Wow, that went weird real fast. But Pizza Luce will do that to you.
Yeah.
And this is why Paya is absolutely part of this party. Hearts, minds, and wombs.
Hearts, minds, and wombs.
That's right.
Oh no, my connection was lost. That's okay.
Instead of the Tomb Raiders, we could be the Womb Raiders.
No, we cannot.
Yeah,
But
no.
we can.
Gosh. No,
That doesn't really roll
Nope.
off the tongue like I thought it might.
it's
No.
weird.
Mm-mm.
That's so creepy.
Yeah, that's
Let's
not right.
We'll cross that one off the list.
Anyways, where are we? What's going on?
Y'all's going to that there Shaman's house. I hear that Bitter's going to go check in
Yes.
with that Gorman, the ranger, see how that there's going. Pie, of course, is going on back to the inn where she's going to take care of anybody who's in need. Also check in with parents, excuse me. And I'm going to go talk to that there Jarl. I should probably be last, though, on account of all the hiccups. I'm hoping they clear up by then, though.
Wow,
He's just gonna go drink with the Jarls.
his accent has got really weird there.
I know, right?
Mm,
It
he's
went
hammered.
super. It went
hammered.
super like Allsparter.
He got really southern all of a sudden.
All Sparter are a southern accent. You heard it here
That's right.
first, folks.
That was totally a Sea Shield thing. You
Yeah.
got all Sea Shield on everybody. And you're going to Gorms, Vidar?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Hey, check it out. I have this cool. This is the winter map. Now Molgor is wintertime in the map. In the VCT, which should be there for all of you. I know you had to rejoin.
Yeah, I
there
guess.
we go.
Hey, there it is.
Nice. Good work, Chad.
Looking good, Molgor.
Thanks. I have to put labels back into it.
How did you have to rejoin? Like, it's not letting me rejoin. Oh,
it
there
took
it
me
is. There it is.
Ah.
Took
in a
me,
minute.
took
Yeah.
me
Wow.
two tries, but we got in. There
Yeah.
it is.
Well,
Yeah,
there was still a
wintertime.
technical issue this session. It just wasn't on our end.
We can't blame roll 20 though.
No. Anyway, yes. Let us go with Paya. You head back to the Storytellers Inn with Ida and Solv. And you enter into it's kind of a normal sort of day. There's a couple of people, and Absalon is there, bringing out a platter of some kind of foodstuffs, perhaps. Oh, hang on. Oh, I got a thing for this. Oh, check this out.
Hey Chad, just
If
as
any-
an
yep.
FYI, we're getting into the spin cycle of the stream hiccuping just as much as Gundar.
Ooh,
I opened my mouth, and there we go.
Mm-hmm.
You son of a-
it's never a good sign.
Okay.
Great start.
Momentarily, we're okay. I'm monitoring the situation, so go ahead.
Okay. There is a. Oh no. Anyway, it's some kind of dish.
Mm-mm.
There's it's some kind of dish that I have a recipe for from the Untold Sagas lore book by Dream Realm Storytellers that is specific to this area. I'm not as prepared as I would like to be, and I don't have those page numbers memorized.
It's all right. Go on. Keep going.
But it is epic. It smells good. You are used to
Okay.
it, and you love it. Perhaps I don't want to tell you what you like and don't like. I apologize. Absalon kind of sees you as you enter into the inn, as he's bringing out this platter of food to some customers, and he says, pot, and he says, you brought more friends.
Yeah, we need to find their families.
Hmm.
If they still have families.
Well, I know there are a number of folk who are staying here that have come in the last few days. The last two, what has it been? 3 days? 3 days since you guys have been out? 4 days? 3 days.
Or
Is that a 4 days since you started, or 4 days since you left the second time?
4 days since we left the second time, because there was
Okay.
yeah.
Because you
2
went
days
to
out,
the
2 days back.
farmhouse, you went to the tower, you went back to the farmhouse, and now you're yes. Okay. Um. Yes, there's a number of families who've come in. Some staying here, some staying with friends in town. I'm sure we can. Hopefully, their families are amongst them. Where did they come from? He sets down this plate of food, and people are like, "Why the fuck are you talking, dude? Like, give us our food." They don't say that, but that's the expression on their face.
I take the food and drop it off at their appropriate table. And I grab Absalon and bring him along back behind the bar and give him a little bit of a rundown. That there are strange things going on. Bandits, slavers, undead. Some people think it may be some of my party thinks it may be a blood ritual, but those people believe in gods that want blood sacrifice, so maybe.
Fair.
Says, well, you kind of have to believe in
Probably.
gods that want blood sacrifices because all of them do.
I'm still
Troubling,
pretty convinced.
troubling times indeed.
Slavers. Somehow they're bad slavers because they're hunting their own.
Well, hopefully we can find their family. He says,
Hey, well, do the kids recognize anyone in this room right now? Have they found their families?
they're kind of like, They look around. I will roll. Ooh, I rolled a 1.
No.
You don't? Nobody here. Yeah.
Do they recognize anybody here? Probably not with a 1.
Yeah, everyone here seems to be strangers to them.
Okay. Sheltered children. Are there other children? Well, I mean, they are adolescents. They're not
like kids.
They're not kids. So I'm pretty sure they can figure out how to socially fend for themselves in a large room where there is food.
Yeah, Absalon calls over.
And
Whatever his
at the very
daughter's name
least,
is.
Eldora.
Haldor, thank you.
at the very least, Absalon, I think with what's going on, I may be out and about a little bit more than often. So at the very least, maybe we don't have families. Perhaps we need someone to work the bar in my absence. Could probably
Yes. We'll make do. You're evidently doing good out there, so.
Yeah. You have more faith in me than I have in myself right now, but for some reason these children seem to need me.
Yes, as I'm sure your friends do.
I'm calling my friends the children.
He claps you on the shoulder. He says, it'll be good for the lot of you. And he calls over Haldora. He says, Haldora, find these kids, what's your, and they exchange names. He says, find Ida and Soph, get them a plate of food. And they all run off and do a thing.
And then I go and figure out where, any of the women that I've been tending to are and how they're doing, and catch a little bit of gossip and maybe hear what people think are going on from inside town.
Oh, I like this.
What's going on? What do they know? What have they heard? Who all is here?
Please roll a persuasion check.
Persuasion.
Let's see what you tease out of them. Nice.
16 plus 7 is 23.
God damn, bards and their high charisma scores, so good. Yeah, you go around, and there are a couple of ladies that you are tending to, um, ready to pop, as they say, but not quite there yet. And they're doing well. One of them is like at the stage where you really can't move so much anymore. You're like, that stage. I don't know. I feel like that's the stage. Some of them are, a little more mobile. One of them, it's their first child. The other two, they've had a couple. Perhaps the one who is her first child, she's in that stage. Come on, VTT. That's okay. I don't need you. I'm not married to it. You're checking in on them, and everyone's doing okay. And you talk to them, and you find out a couple of different things. Of course, there are a number of different people. A lot of the rangers have been sending folks into town. The inns are kind of full. There's people staying at various people's houses. There are a number of folks who are staying even at the temple. Pretty much anybody who can put up people are putting up people. There have been some attacks have happened over the last few days, or perhaps earlier that. But the rumor mill is now, of course, churning. Some people have been attacked. Nobody else has been. Well, you don't hear of anybody. I should say, being as it is a rumor mill, you don't hear of anybody who has necessarily been taken. Nobody's like, oh yeah, so and so's son has been taken, or so and so's daughter's been taken. There isn't any of that. There have been attacks, perhaps unsuccessful takings. And you got I'm sorry, 24. 24. Like the other, I guess, attacks that you have been a part of, privy to, these two, there is a common thread that it seems that the targets are families, farmsteads with younger sorts of youths, and by that I mean not kids, but like those like pre and early teenage years youths. I'm sorry if anyone is offended by me continually saying youth. Tweens, preteens, not preteens. That implies 9, older than 9, between 10 and like 16.
Teens and preteens.
Yeah.
Tweens.
Yeah. There were a couple of like skirmishes, right? Like it's going to happen that somebody's going to pick the wrong farmstead to fuck with, and a few people have done that and are dead or have escaped into the north, on the attacker side. And there's been a few injuries, and maybe.
So how big has this raiding party been? I mean, usually a horde of bandits is what, like 10, 15, maybe 20? Like 20 would be huge. And we've gotten multiple attacks with a whole bunch of dead, and we've dealt with nearly
they're
a dozen. Like, where are they all coming from?
It's give me I guess as you can. I don't know if you're in the VTD. I'm not anymore. I'm not going to worry about it. But if you have dice handy, give me perhaps let's call it an intelligence kind of roll.
An intelligence kind of row. Well, that would just be a 12.
12.
for
Do you have?
anything
Are you
intelligence
proficient in
based.
investigation?
Investigation? No.
Okay. A 12. Yeah, you're kind of like sorting through these
Perception, I've
all
better
these
at, but
rumors.
Mhm.
And some of the descriptions that you've heard, some of it's obviously like telephone gamed, right?
Mhm.
And some of it's less telephone gamed. But you kind of get the feeling that many of these attacks have been say on farmhouses, farmsteads kind of close-ish together. Maybe not is it definitely sounds like the those that you know who may have been in farmsteads, say to the west. This doesn't mean anything to anybody. To the west, to my left, have been largely unaccosted, and more of the farmsteads to the east and north have been accosted more. So it's perchance that folks in the area, in the neighborhood that you have been kind of adventuring in, that you have been inspecting, that you have been kind of on patrol in, or whatever, however you want to call it, that's kind of been the AO. So it's quite possible that it's a much smaller group and not so spread out. They're just really like, oh, it didn't work out at Sven's, let's go hit Oli's. Oh, it didn't work out. They might be hopping around.
Okay, so did I find the Granger family?
They are in town, and they are staying at the Northest Inn.
They make bad decisions.
And do I find any information on the family that these two children's families?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. Let's see. I can do this. Yes. Ida's family is both of their families are staying with other families in town. They are let us I can adjudicate this. Oh, here it is. Let me bring up my list of friendly names. Ida is Holger. Holger's daughter, Solv, is Herrickson. The Holger and his family and Herrick and his family are somewhere in town, staying with somebody they know.
Okay, so I send the rumor that the children are at the inn, along those lines, and then when I assess the lovely woman who is due any day now, how long does that mean I probably need to stay in town? Does that mean that I'm like tethered here for like another? I'm not going anywhere until she delivers.
Perhaps
So
a
I'm
week.
not going anywhere until. Okay, I'm not going anywhere until she delivers. So.
Okay.
That's that.
All right. Gunder, you're heading to the Jarl's house. His
Heck
hall.
yeah, I am.
Yeah, at the center of town.
Hopefully. Otherwise, the map's wrong.
It's possible. Maps are commonly wrong. Men are
Only
fallible.
if they involve the Dakotas existing.
That's true. It's just this western Minnesota. You approach the Jarl's Hall. There are, of course, the customary youths guarding it with their birds at their shoulders. because they, of course, are known for taming birds.
They totally are.
Yeah.
Gundar's gonna just bow his head in respect. Are the doors to the house open?
Yes.
He will pass through unless he is stopped.
They nod you inside. It is, of course, inviting as always. There is a nice fire. It is warm. There are a number of different folk about. You can see that the Jarl Haralder is he is chatting with oh no, the lawgiver Liv. Ooh,
Liv Tyler?
no, not Liv Tyler.
Hertha.
Hertha, Liv's daughter. Yes, Hertha, the town law speaker. They are kind of chatting at us, kind of one of the large tables that is placed near the center of the hall, as there are many. And they are, I don't know. They're not speaking in hushed tones. They're not speaking exact. They're speaking in normal tones.
Either way, Gundar is walk up.
And they kind of carry on talking for a wee bit. They seem to be talking about kind of the patrol data, as it were, the things that they've reports that they've gotten from Gorm and from some of the other men that they've sent out to check on things, as this growing tide of strange bandit attacks has plagued the outer farmsteads. And the Jarl, he says, Gundar, what news?
Some good, some ill. We went to the farmstead because I've forgotten the name of the family. And then from there, we went north several more leagues to an abandoned tower in the bogs there. We thought if there were bandits about, it would be a good place to hold up. And it was. There were a dozen men, maybe a score at most. We drew some out to fight them, and because we saw they had captives. Some came out to meet us and were cut down, and then the dead began to rise out of the marsh. Yes. It was
That is concerning.
unsettling. We proceeded into the tower to the dead, thankfully, also fought any of the living, ourselves or the bandits, and they were the larger target, so we came closer. The Draugr eventually made work of all the bandits. We made work of some of them, got into the tower and found that there was a ritualist amongst the bandits. We do not know if he was a leader, for none of the bandits survived. He had done something to call the Draugr, for when we broke up the ritual he had left on the floor, they left. They had several strange and unholy, perhaps, implements. Stieg has a goat's head with the horns carved with runes he is taking to his senior now to look into. But it was not good. We did save a young man and a young woman. Or, yeah, we'll go with that.
That's good.
That had been taken by the bandits. They are being seen to at the end, hopefully to be returned to their families.
Dark
Just
tidings
shakes his head.
indeed. Hertha says, "The one of the old towers. That why didn't we think of that? The old watchtowers are obvious place to hole up.
Well, you were defending the town. You had not gone looking for the trouble. Which brings me to the other ill tiding I have. There was a man who watched us from a distant at the edge of the bog on the north, who walked in snow without shoes, and had a staff of antlers upon it. And while we do not know if he was the bandit's master, it does not bode ill and may explain how they suddenly came upon supernatural occurrences. I cannot say they were allies.
The two of them share a look. And Hertha looks to you and says, "No, you're certain. No shoes."
No shoes. Vitar with us. He checked himself. The tracks he said were unmistakable.
And a stag's antler staff. She kind of like I don't know, it does one of those annoyed, kind of nervous, annoyed, like knowing actions ticks, right? And I tapped index cards against the desk, which of course nobody can see. She I have to what the fuck is that guy's name?
What the fuck is that guy's name?
It's written, it's right here. Aha. Okay. They kind of share this look, and she says, Mavnus.
Mavnus?
He is a cedar of some influence, of some power. He's got to be an old man now. He was made outlaw, anything, in the time of my father. And if he is, it can only mean ill tidings, more so than outlaw attacks and kidnappings. You said there was a ritual. Hopefully, Saman's apprentice can and Saman can find something to use. A goat's head.
A goat's head.
I don't understand the way of these men.
He's an older seether of some power.
I do.
There was a man there who had ritual components upon him and did not look like the others. He may have apprentices now.
He the Jarl. I can't remember his name. He's the Jarl. The Jarl, he says, we need to I guess warn Gorm and his men. There is the possibility of supernatural dangers.
Vidar has gone to speak with Gorm. If he knows half as much as you do, he will know soon.
Well, my thanks for your work. It is it will not go unrewarded. I don't there's something that he says that makes sense in those lines. My brain. You know what I mean?
What to drink?
What other needs
Make
does the
yourself
town
at
have?
home.
Say again?
What other needs does the town have right now?
More folk are coming in every day. If there is another force of outlaws out there, it might be best we find them. Maybe coordinating with Gorm and his men, sending out another patrol. Perhaps we can find some information from Saymond, some mystical, the insight from runes.
I will speak with our people when we know more. I know I will be happy to hunt with men, and I believe several of my companions have great interest in continuing to pursue them as well.
I'm glad to hear it. Yes, anything that you need, simply ask.
For the moment, a flagon of ale and a warm seat by the fire while we wait.
He motions for a guy, because he's got a guy, right? And a flagon of ale and a warm fire at the Jarl's Hall is had of you, my friend. Vidar.
Yes.
Hello.
Hi.
You head out to Gorm's Hall, and you arrive safe and sound, because there doesn't need to be any problems. We don't need to do that. There's not a whole lot of folk out about at the moment. One of the I wrote this down. That one guy. What's his name?
Roar?
Yes. Roar. Roar is about. Nobody else is really around at the moment. Older ranger with a limp. Yes, that's the one. And he says, Vidar. You've returned.
Roar. Yes.
Good news.
Is Gorm afield, or is he here?
He's out. They're scattered. They had gone out and come back, and they've been gone for another half day. Gone. They've been out for a half day. They're not here.
I have tidings from the northeast, where we went to track these bandits, and he'll narrate the same general story that Gundar just narrated.
It's like that.
Yeah, wow, it is like that, isn't it? He kind of nods gravely at your words.
Do you know this man? The barefoot one.
He rolled really good. I rolled a 16 on this die in front of me at my table. He says, yes, there was a cedar who was well known here when I was in my youth. There was some business I don't know the full tale of, but he was made a nithing. He was cast out
For good reason, or because of
I
his
can only
beliefs?
imagine those who are. That's a good question. Give me an insight roll, please.
Okay. That will be 19.
19. Yeah, you don't get the feeling that he's trying to intone, that he's alluding to beliefs as much as like action. He doesn't necessarily know the ins and outs of kind of right of what went down. But he is not alluding to a legally, as it were, illegitimate faith. Let us say that. He says, I don't know much about what for, but we have to trust that we would not, as a community, make anything without good cause. And you would know, and really anyone who will hear this tale, so I don't have to kind of repeat that. You would to be made nothing, to be made an outlaw, a super outlaw, right? Perhaps some outlaws are outlaws, but then also some outlaws have been ultimately cast out, have been titled nothing, or given this have been almost a sociological curse for some deed, a sin, as you will, against a community. But it's also strange because it's not like they would. It's also not something that you would necessarily kill a person for. But you are the person who is nothing is no longer allowed to be given succor, to be given shelter, assistance of any kind. They are cut off from their tribe, their people, their town.
An active enemy of the community.
Mm-hmm. So this is troubling indeed. And yeah. And there was another you with.
Yes, there was another user of this ritualistic magic of some kind that I'm not familiar with. I don't know as much of that, but I do know that the undead raising from the bog, this Nithin.
Augur. Twice in one outing. He almost gives like one of those like chuckles that you give when it's like badass, but that sucks at the same time, like, yeah, that sucks, but I get it. Like
This does not seem as part of the natural cycle of things. Where is Gorm? When will he return? Should we send word to him? What would you have me do, Bror?
Yes. I expect him back in perhaps tonight or in the morning. It might be good to send messages to those further afield. Yes, perhaps you can wait and you can give Gorm your report. He will want to hear it from you.
Yes, of course.
Well, let's get some messages put out. You guys have like a coop, as it were, like where you have a number of messenger birds, perhaps in true Norse fashion that they are ravens, perhaps even. Pigeons right now would be like, this is fucking stupid. Why are we out right now? It's winter time. And you can you put down some messages like, hey, be on the lookout for these things, and you send off messages to folk. And he gets you a nice warm beverage, perhaps some meat. And yeah. Good. Where are we at for time? Yes, very good. Stieg and Astrid, you are going to Samon's house to speak with Samon.
All right. Yeah, real quickly.
Oh, yes.
We don't need to spend a lot of time doing it, but I'd like to just pick up some liquor to bring to Samon.
Okay.
From the inn.
Yeah.
Maybe just like a small cask or like a couple wine skins. Enough to last for a day or two.
Yeah, you
can tell me how much gold that would cost.
I will. I have a fucking player's handbook somewhere. I don't. Really? I closed my window with D&D Beyond open. D&D Beyond! Search bar. Ale. No. Just jerks.
Or ale. I don't know what's available. Spirits? Vodka?
You would be able to acquire
Brennivin?
probably either yes. They're
Like an
ale,
akavit of
mead,
some sort.
akavit,
Yeah.
the moonshine.
Like the spirit though. Like just like a distilled alcohol that's native to the area.
Expenses. Ale, gallon, wine. Yeah, you're a maybe a 2 gold.
All right.
You're able to acquire a good amount of what is it called? It's Bevinin? I don't remember.
Brevinin
is
is the Icelandic.
That stuff will put hair on your chest. Holy shit.
Caraway seeds.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
Tastes like yeah. It's unique flavor.
It is. Yeah, you're able to find acquire a good amount for your purposes. And you make your way to Stieg's hut.
Yeah.
Down at the end of the kind of that promontory.
Yeah, Astrid, you're welcome to come with. I have to warn you, if there's anything, if you see like something strange, don't touch it. It might explode. Okay? Like if there's especially if there's like a yellow or green liquid, don't touch it. If it's red, don't touch it. Okay?
I will keep my hands to myself.
Yeah, don't. I mean, something might explode. It
I
should
have
be
a shield.
fine. Okay. I mean, it should be fine. Just like don't touch anything. Okay. It's. He leaves things out.
I've been warned.
Okay. All right. All right. Okay. All right. I have to bring him something. If I haven't seen him in a while, I need to bring him. I just need to bring him like a little something.
A little something.
A little something.
An offering.
Is this like your tuition fees?
No, it's just, he's like a father to me, but he's really more like most people's crazy uncle who lives in the woods.
But lives in town.
But lives in town.
Pious face was magical.
I have a few of those.
Yeah.
I'm
Like,
expecting
you know,
this man not to be wearing any pants.
you know how it is. I think you'll know how it is.
He's a cross between Red Green and Al Bundy.
He's he's unique.
I
We'll just put
I
it that
don't
way.
judge people for things
That's,
like that.
okay. All right. Just so you know. I mean, last time we talked to him, he fell asleep. He does that sometimes, but then sometimes, that's about as bad as it gets.
Stieg, that commonly when like visions like that happen, like it's kind of a
Draining.
it's like an all day out thing. Like I'm gonna do this one thing and then I'm gone for like 24 hours.
Yeah. So yeah, last time we saw him, we kind of, made him tired, and I figured I'd get him this cask, and whenever I'm gone for a few days, he's like, "Whoa, why don't you bring me anything?" He gets a little, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I went all the way into town and I didn't bring him anything back. I got to bring him something,
Will,
Okay.
will
Anyways.
he remember that he told us that premonition? Or
Yeah, I
that
think so.
prophecy?
Yeah,
50-50.
I think so. Just,
Right.
just don't touch anything, especially if it has a weird color.
Well, I especially won't touch anything if
Okay.
it's weird color.
All right, I have to warn everybody that comes over, otherwise.
I have to warn anybody that comes over.
Have you lost anyone this way?
Let's just say we had to visit the cleric a couple times because somebody touched something and they might have got burned, or
Well, you have a
acid,
cleric
or
with you.
lightning, or fire. What?
You have a
They're- oh,
cleric with you.
In town, yeah.
No, I'm the
Oh
cleric.
yeah. No, we should be good then. Okay. Yeah, no, that's right. You healed me. What am I thinking? I don't.
You
You'll
are
be
us.
fine. You'll be fine. Just,
Oh,
if you don't want to deal with it, just don't touch anything. Okay.
it's magical.
All right.
I will keep my hands where you can see them.
All right. Let's go. Let's go talk to him.
You arrive. It's much the way you remember it. It's a little. It's cluttered. It's there's a cacophony of smells. He is. You kind of enter, and he is kind of engrossed in a carving. He's kind of at his table, and he has a tablet. It's like maybe the size of like an open textbook, if you were to open the textbook. So it's a good size, and he's carving at some runes on there.
Okay. Just to paint a picture, I'm going to knock on the door and kind of like barge in. I have a goat head under one hand, a pile of bloody swords over my shoulder, and a cask of ale like tucked under there. And I'm just going to be like, Saymond!
And you hear yeah, come in.
Yeah. Come on, let's go in.
And he's tap 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 tap. You hear, and not even looking up. He says,
I'm just going to start
he
recounting.
says, Stieg,
Okay.
what's in the satchel?
The satchel?
You got this. How are you carrying a bunch of bloody swords
Oh, they're like wrapped up in like a blanket and like with
in
a
a
rope around it.
satchel?
Yeah.
What's in the satchel?
We got in a battle.
Oh,
Not with each other.
No, I'll tell you all about it. And like, I'm just gonna go
good.
into like this giant story of how Stieg was like fighting hand-to-hand combat. Natural 20, killed the Draugr. Oh yeah, and Astrid healed me, and I was almost dead. And I was like shooting firebolts, and like just getting just overexcited. Just like
I'm just gonna nod a lot and let him do it.
and like I was doing all this stuff.
yeah. Wow.
And Vidar was there. Remember Vidar? And he killed a guy. He killed a guy in the tower. And you know, a little overexcited.
Yeah. He kind of stops. You get through all of this, and he's
But more details, obviously.
yeah, he's got.
Those are the
he's
most exciting
chisels
parts for-
down. Chisel.
for-
Give me a performance roll.
Yeah, can you do this thing
Okay.
again? That was cool. Do this
And
thing.
And I'm gonna be honest.
Trevor,
I'm gonna give you advantage.
Yeah.
All right, so make a performance roll with advantage. That was kind of fucking epic.
Yeah, hell yeah.
All right, where's the? I don't know what I have. I have 0 performance. I'm sure.
That's okay.
What'd
Yeah,
you roll?
14. 14
Nice.
14 total with advantage.
with advantage. Yeah.
All right, 14. Yeah, he's kind of like, he's not chiseling anymore. He's just like, whoa. Yeah. He's totally entranced. That sounds like a story.
Yeah, and I'll tell him all about the ritual we found in the upstairs of the tower, and they had this goat head in it.
And
I'll just drop it.
he kind of
But
good thunk. He takes it and checks it out.
I could read some of it, but I figured it might mean a little bit more to you.
Mm.
Can you tell
He
it?
yeah he looks it over. He kind of clears off some stuff and sits it down, and he gets in there and he's looking it over, and he kind of looks at the two of you, a little concern. He's got like a little kind of concerned look on his face, like, but you didn't die kind of look, like, and he pulls out a few things, candle and some different reagents, and works a little bit of magic and kind of does says some cool stuff. He says, "It's cool. You're impressed." And there's almost a coldness, a stillness to the air, and then like a rush of heat, and the goat's head feels less, like its presence is less, and he says, and you can like feel this temperature changes in the room. He says, "Whoa, I don't know. This is somebody has turned this into I want to use the word battery, but that of course is wrong. It's like a power, like a foci. You can store mystical energy into it, magic. I don't.
Any idea why they would use this?
Perhaps they were drawing power from this place to use somewhere else. You could take this, you could fill this, and then take it somewhere and use it for greater effect. To cast more magic, bigger spells. Oh man, he kind of looks again at some of the runes on the horns. He says, you could store energy in this and then cast as if you were 10 men.
Whoa. We saw one other when we were there. A man, Vidar, went to look at his tracks, and the tracks had no shoes. It was like a man with a staff with some horns on it.
Avnus.
Do you know who that is?
We cast him out. I was but an apprentice then. Yeah,
That must have been a long time ago.
it was. I was, maybe younger than you.
Do you
I don't know.
remember why they cast him out?
He
This is
was.
Astrid, by the way.
Hello.
Astrid saved my life.
Oh, but thank you.
You're most welcome. Of course I would.
He had he was working with a man, Trig, who had they had slain some women and offered their remains to hell for some kind of power. We had thwarted them. Mavnus was they broke his staff. He was cursed with the Nithing cast out. Rig was killed. It was. I don't. If he is back, this is not good.
Yeah, I think he's back.
I knew we should have killed him, but I was but a boy then.
We have now thwarted 3 kidnappings of young people. And now this person shows up who has previously tried to kill and offer humans to hell.
Could he be targeting these young children?
It's most likely in some respects the purest among us have a more pure form of power. Right? Yeah. Yeah. It is said of old, of course, if you want to get anything done, you're going to have to kill either kings or virgins. That's, of course, nothing civilized folk mess with.
Yeah, I'm glad I don't have to worry about that anymore.
Do you look around nervously?
Yeah.
Okay.
Astrid also looks at the floor.
Troubling times. Troubling times indeed. Check it out. With that, my friends, we're going to call it an evening. Hopefully you're still there. I've heard some reports now that I've looked at my Discord chat that maybe Twitch is weird. Our internet connections are suspect. But Mark Zuckerberg has failed us in providing us with broadband internet. I don't know if that's what he's into. I don't know who gives us our internet. I'll be honest.